Hi, everyone. So in my group, it will be me, Sude, Alia, who's not here anymore. She had to leave, unfortunately, Safi, and our champion, Alita, who also helped us. So we looked at how can we get youth involvement more in policymaking and decision-making. And we took the approach of looking into an actual model to put things into immediate action, something that we can improve to go immediately to walking the walk and not just talking the talk. So how many of you have actually had an idea that would be able to solve a societal challenge, but did not know necessarily how to put that into action? Or perhaps you don't necessarily trust the current political systems and you want to find alternative ways of being involved, of making a change. In any way, you want to increase your impact. And the word impact hasn't been used as extensively as it is being used now. The world is changing rapidly. Demographics, thanks to technology, all sorts of drivers that are making a huge change. But especially if we would zoom into a specific generation that is being vocal about the things that they actually care about, that they value. But what their values are and what they actually attach importance to or demand, whether it's from society, politics, employers, is not so well understood at this moment. They don't have necessarily the trust into political systems because they want to put things on the agenda because they have seen some things failing. They want to put DEI high on the agenda. They want to put sustainability, climate change high on the agenda. It's thanks to them that things right now are being actually talked about as well because they're vocal about it, because they want to increase their impact. But so it happens that also within that generation, you have minority groups who don't necessarily know, who don't necessarily know how to be involved. They don't necessarily have the knowledge. They don't necessarily have the networks. They don't necessarily have the network because maybe their parents also were not raised in that community that they are living in now. They don't have the right network, they don't have the knowledge, and they don't have the idea on which doors to knock to actually have that impact, to set a step. But it's the generation who is actually currently forming 1/3 of the global population. Imagine if they would know how to make an impact. If they had just the tools to do so, they could actually make a great change. So as we saw also in 2020, for example, those who went to vote, which were in 2020 more than they were in 2016. This is just an article about the elections in the United States. It was this generation, the youth in general, who actually voted Biden into office because they were with greater numbers in 2020 than they were in 2016. That's the power they have, but they don't necessarily know they have that power. So what we want to do is help them to understand how they could actually take action.
Yes, thank you. That is why we thought about the impact model, since Gen Z is demanding change. Our idea is to prove a kind of toolkind to Gen Z that puts theory and practice in parallel, since the educational system, as we talked yesterday, is outdated and does not provide such information. Whereas social media platforms like YouTube or TikTok are preferred learning platforms for Gen Z. So we try to implement a solution that suits Gen Z's preferences. But how will the impact model actually work? So who here has already done the 16 personality test online ever in their life? Yeah.
So did I, yeah. It's a well-known test, right? And it's quite simple. You just do a test in a few minutes and you get your personality profile in that description. You also get to know like which famous person matches your personality. I just, side note, I had Obama and Oprah, but just side note to let you know. But that's a very simple model, isn't it?
So, all right. Now think of that kind of test and combine it with citizen engagement of Gen Z. So through AI and gamification and research companies, we can feed the impact model with research data to receive like a special kind of profile, so they can know how they can engage themselves. So the idea is simple yet so brilliant. Sorry. You at first you just take a small test, just like the 16 personality test. After that, you receive that kind of profile. However, this is not just a one-time test and then your personality is clear. Since we're experiencing different things in our life, you can also just repeat the test and then get a different profile, for example. And the results you get are based on your most recurring profile, and such as the knowledge seeker, for example. Then you have the trailblazer and the network enthusiast, which we're going to dig deeper into.
So basically, there are many stakeholders involved in this, right? To develop or to get the research, to feed the AI, the data, the impact model, and to give multiple profiles. The different profiles that explain who you are and how you want to be involved in decision-making, policy-making, societal challenges. There are different profiles possible. We just chose 3 to zoom into to give you a high-level overview of what it could look like. Well, imagine this person who wants to be involved in solving societal challenges, but doesn't necessarily know how to start or where to find information to educate themselves. We called it the knowledge seeker. And in our impact model, you don't necessarily get to know which famous person you match with, but you do get something else. Besides in that description of your profile, how to be involved, you also get actually 2 different things. The other thing is, once you know what your profile you match with, is how you can, as a person, grow and develop yourself. In this case, somebody who wants to find information and educate themselves. The impact model in this case suggests, for example, shadowing a person with experience. And it happens that the model also offers you a list of people who signed up to be able to shadow. Or, for example, you want to become a mentee of somebody who signed up to become a mentor. And in this case, you could choose a topic you're interested in and be able to be a mentee of this person. Take a workshop at an organization that is also a partner of the impact model. Subscribe for newsletters, perhaps from specific media outlets or an organization that could provide you monthly with a certain information to feed your thoughts and your ideas. Now, as we said, we want to put theory and a practice parallel, because we know we want to make an impact and we want to just like be able to do something and not just talk the talk. Well, next to what you could do to educate yourself, this person will also discover what to do to take actual action. And as we say, learning while doing, imagine you've been shadowing a person or a mentee from in a specific field of expertise. You could actually also volunteer in an organization, which will be provided here in different categories, to be a volunteer to get the 360 view of what you are wanting to do in the first place. Now that's a knowledge seeker, but we happen to have another profile as well.
Another result you can get on the model impact model is the trailblazer. As you can see, a trailblazer is a person who is not necessarily interested or doesn't trust the current political system and is looking for an alternative way to be engaged. For example, if someone wants to engage in the topic of homelessness, the impact profile of the trailblazer can offer you data and research research papers where you can, for example, learn more about the current situation in the field. And also you can have a look at how others have done it and other organizations are doing it with alternative ways. Here you can look into a few examples. And also you can also have a look at what like other organizations are doing, and maybe if you like the organization, also become a member of it. And maybe also like agencies where you can just help and ask if you can run a campaign if you're interested into that.
So we had a profile that was lacking knowledge. We had a profile that is looking for an alternative system. But what if you already have done research, have an idea on how to solve a specific challenge, but don't know necessarily where to find like-minded individuals to put it into action, which is a lack of network. Well, in that case, the networking enthusiast gets offered to improve pitching skills, again, workshops with organizations that are partnering with this project, practice conversation starters where you get some ideas on how to actually implement it. You get ideas on what conversation starters could be in the category that you're interested in. But you already have an idea, and to be able to find like-minded people and an idea in your head is not necessarily how you would pitch it to others and clarify it. The model will also offer you templates to clarify your ideas and a list of annual conferences you could, for example, attend to find like-minded people that you could surround yourself with to actually put that plan that you have into action. Because we have so many ideas, but it's not just about the ideas having it, but actually executing it. So you need to surround yourself with people to be able to do that. So that's why we say it's not a one-stop test that you do. It's the impact journey that you take, because you might have done it first and got suggestions in one profile, but you have to take it again to actually put it into action.
And now, since we have the impact profile and the impact model, the next step could look like this. For example, to gain visibility through micro-influencers who already have a strong community in their specialization, and of course, through umbrella organizations, and maybe also approach to research centers to collaborate on how to collect data and to improve the profiles that you can get after the test, and also involve partners such as, for example, the Salzburg Global for implementation and awareness, and of course also because of trust.
Okay, so who wants to also increase their impact? Well, there is one suggestion we have for all of you: myimpactjourney.com to discover your impact profile.